Back in early 2018, my wife and I had been looking out for a pilot saloon, something that could go long distance, something that had good sea berths, you know, the usual stuff that everybody looks for. And we found a Vokier 48 PS in contest yachts in Medemblik, Holland. So we went along there and went into this extraordinary shed full of very expensive hardware, and in amongst all that, and looking a little bit sorry for herself, was Circa Maxima. And anyway, cut a long story sideways, we eventually made an offer and had a survey, and we bought her. And then that summer we had quite a short season, and we zipped around the IJsselmeer. We had a nice time, and then put her back in the shed, and there was some works to do here and there, and she sat there for the next 10 months. So it was with great anticipation that we launched her again in 2019. Again, we didn't really have much time. This is the problem with having boats. They need money, and to get money you need to work. So we'd been at work, and we had about 5 weeks.
Action!
I named this ship Mandala of Cheshire, and may she bring fair winds, good fortune, and following seas to all who sail on her.
Yay!
Mandala of Cheshire! Yay.
So with the naming ceremony duly completed, and all our respects paid to Neptune and the gods of the four winds, we ended up back in the lock system to leave the IJsselmeer. Just a couple of shots of the interior without the covers, and you can see that not only is the visibility really good from inside the boat, but actually she cleans up pretty well, and we're really pleased with the layout and the general look of the boat by this stage. Sailing wise, she really didn't disappoint. We were pretty delighted that a 19-ton boat could perform really well, even in comparative light winds. We had quite a versatile sail wardrobe, and it was easy to handle. This is a video of us using the blade, which is the Solent sail inside the Genoa, which we pretty much always use when we're hard on the wind. It's on a self-tacker, which is fantastic if you're short tacking up a river, for example. So you can see, sorry about the camera work, it's 7 knots, it's very shallow, 5.5 meters, 7 knots of boat speed, and I think there's about 14 knots apparent. So, you know, she's moving really well there. Here from inside again, you can see that the visibility is good. We actually had the sun covers on then, so in spite of that, you really can do a navigational watch from inside. This is on our way to Mackham, and here is Mackham, which is where some of the Fed ships, the super yachts, are built, and it's also full of a lot of traditional old barges in beautiful condition and handled expertly by their chargers. And this is our little berth there. So it was kind of with regret that we were leaving the IJsselmeer. We'd really loved it there. It was just like a jewel, and we saw so many beautiful things. And these couple of shots are just, I think, just stunning. And look at the skies. I mean, this is just taken with a phone, so there's no airbrushing there. So in spite of buying oversized clogs and doing all the tourist bit, we decided that we needed to go north. So this is us looking out for the last time, and we're going to go into the North Sea. But the IJsselmeer will be back. It was a great destination in its own right. So at sea, not all of us want to be up all the time, and certain people and the dog think that it's just better to chill out, and I don't blame them. It was just quite a sort of, confused sea, and it was a little bit uncomfortable, but we were doing good speeds, and you know, it was a beam reach, and what's not to love about that? Doing 8 knots there. So yeah, always good in the world if it was a little bit overcast. This is now in the North Sea proper. It's my friend Mike, and you can see we're going along really nicely. This is going outside the islands on the way to Cuxhaven. And so it was that we at long last reached the Baltic after quite a wee wait, but it was well worth waiting for. This is the boat in Kiel, and we set out from Kiel, and of course there's so many sailboats there, it's fantastic. This is up in Denmark, next to Aero, a wonderful island that we really enjoyed. Just perfect champagne sailing, really. And still, even in the Baltic, saw the traditional Dutch workboats being plied. Of course, they're not carrying cargo anymore, just passengers. And cutesy Denmark, just lovely. Very house proud, very neat, tidy. This is Svenderborg with the shipyard there. So more typical, lovely villages, streets, just so nice. And this was a day out at Eggerskoth Castle, and if you ever get the chance, it's fantastic. Not only is the castle exquisite and in perfect condition, but they've got all sorts going on, and classic car and motorbike exhibitions, and we maybe did, I don't know, a third of it all, and ran out of time, but well worth a visit. Moving on, we went to Sonderburg and we found a British brass band. Band, no less. They were good lads, and we had a nice crack with them after they'd played. So on we went. This is one of those days that you just dream of, when it's the middle of winter, the bills are piling up, and your boat's sitting in a shed and you're wondering what it's all about, and it's all forgiven when you have days like this. Just coming down the river here,
between Jutland and an island called Owls. It really reminds me of the Menai Straits. It's just as popular with the yachtsmen.
Alas, we'd run out of time and it was time to get back to our winter berth, which this time we'd selected a place called Port Alpenitz. It was brand spanking new facility and I think we were the first client. So we packed up the boat, lots of help from the dog, and we put her in an amazing shed. When we pulled her out the water, we had some horrific looking growth underneath the boat, particularly on the shaft and the propeller. Sure sign that we were back in the sea. And this was the lovely shed that she sat in for actually the best part of 2.5 years until we could get back to her. During that time we did some big jobs, took off some of the teak deck, which I'm not a big fan of. I spend my professional life looking at things like that, and I just wanted to get rid of some of the teak and the fastenings that are in. So we got rid of all the screws and cleaned it all off, and this is Kiwi grip, and I think you'll agree it looks pretty smart. Painted out some of the lockers and the bow thrust here, looked pretty sorry for itself, and after some TLC it looked a lot better. This is a fellow called Stefan who is, I'll give his details in the description, and he did a wonderful job of not only the teak but just restoring all the GRP, which was looking pretty ropey after many years in the harsh med sun. You can see this is just gel coat, not paint, and she was looking pretty good after it. She came up looking really good. The system that we used was called Renskip, in case you're interested. Other projects that we tackled during that period, the COVID period, were the Watton-Sea generator and 1,001 other bits and bobs. That takes us sort of from the season of 2019 and into the end of her storage at Alpenitz in Germany. Join us next time for our foray up towards Stockholm and other such adventures. Bye for now.